trained me. And after being committed for so many years, I just don't believe that the Americans are going to retrograde and leave the country. I want to live long enough to see peace in our country, spend time with my family, grow old in Afghanistan, and ultimately die in Afghanistan.
52 past the hour. That was a look at an upcoming documentary that is shedding new light on the abrupt end to America's longest war. Retrograde captures the final 9 months of the United States' 20-year war in Afghanistan from multiple perspectives, giving a first-hand account of the high cost endured from those on the front lines. Joining us now, the film's director, producer, director of photography, and editor, Academy Award-nominated and Emmy Award-winning filmmaker Matthew Heineman. Retrograde premieres on the National Geographic Channel on December 8th. Everybody should take some time to watch it. It will stream on Disney Plus on December 9th and on Hulu December 11th. Welcome. Thank you for coming on the show, Matthew. So tell us how, you follow a number of different storylines. One of them is Sami Sadat. Tell us about him. Tell us how you went about trying to bring this story to your viewers.
So the original intent of the film was to follow the last U.S. deployment, a group of Green Berets on the last deployment to Afghanistan. And 2 months into filming, President Biden pulled out our troops. And, I was like, I don't think we had a film. We had the beginning of a film, we had the first act of a film, but clearly this story was not over. And so the Green Berets have been working with General Sami Sadat, who's in charge of all of southern Afghanistan. And I reached back out to him. I said, look, can we come back and film with you and see the, end of the war, if there is an end of the war, through your eyes? And he said yes. And he's a young 35-year-old general with, basically the weight of the world on his shoulders, trying to hold his country together.
And what did you find when you decided to just keep going and figure out what the end of the story is?
It wasn't a fait accompli when we started filming with him that the Afghan army was going to lose. Mm-hmm. As time went on, it became clearer and clearer that was a likely outcome. To some degree, the narrative tension of the film is every metaphorical neon sign was saying, stop, give up, surrender, this is all over. And up until the very end, he had this unwavering belief that maybe, just maybe, if he held on to Helmand or Lashkar or southern Afghanistan, then the country could hold together. Obviously, that didn't pan out.
So can you characterize for us whether it was this general or others that you spoke to there, their attitudes towards the Americans who had been there for so long, had partnered with them for 20 years, and then left somewhat abruptly? We saw the scenes of violence and chaos that followed. Was there a sense of betrayal, resignation? What did you see?
Definitely a sense of abandonment. I think a huge part of, there's a million reasons why the Afghan army lost to the Taliban. One of them was definitely a loss of morale. When the U.S. left, there's a huge loss of morale, and that's a big part of what this film shows. It's General Sadat trying to rally his troops, trying to rally the townspeople, trying to rally the elders that they could win, because there's definitely a lack of faith after Biden pulled out our troops.
So this documentary is widely acclaimed. How did it change you? You played so many roles in putting together a one-man band almost, in a way. And so I'm curious about your own reflections from the experience.
I think all of these films change you to some degree, right? Certainly this, was in many life or death situations. Black Hawk helicopters getting shot at by the Taliban. Many really sad and tragic situations at the airport in the final days. As thousands of Afghan civilians were desperately trying to flee. I think what I've tried to do in my career, and certainly with this film, is take huge amorphous subjects that are, plastered across headlines and trying to humanize them, to try to put a human face to them. It's so easy to feel like these conflicts are so distant and so far away. And I feel like it's my goal to try to, create an empathetic connection to make you feel like, well, what if that was me? What if that was my brother or my cousin or my sister? And certainly the war in Afghanistan feels like a distant story. I mean, the war in Ukraine obviously has usurped so much of the oxygen in international news, and I really hope that the film, amongst other things, reignites a conversation about this, longest war in U.S. history and how we left this country behind.
The new documentary, Retrograde, premieres on National Geographic Channel on December 8th, streams on Disney Plus December 9th, and on Hulu December 11th. Matthew Heineman, thank you very much for sharing it with us. We appreciate it.